Hello everyone. In this video I would like to show you my Deadeye Magma Orb character that uses Sire of Shards. As always, I will start the video by running a map so that you can see the build in action and see if you actually like the gameplay or not. This is an awesome mapping build that can be done with very minimal investment. And if you are willing to spend a little bit of money on the build, it actually has a really good scalability as well. Okay, so basically what this build revolves around is using Gloomfang and coupling that with the ricochet from the Deadeye Ascendancy tree. What Gloomfang does is that it makes it so that our projectiles gain 20% of non-chaos damage as extra chaos damage per chain. So like as you can see, as the Magma Orb chains, it gains chaos damage. And what Ricochet does is that it grants us 10% more damage for each remaining chain. So basically, like Ricochet is like straight up 80% more damage right off the bat for the initial cast. You will lose like the Ricochet effect as the Magma Orb chains, but that's where Gloomfang kicks in, and like it makes sure that the damage is still nice. So these two things coupled will give you a lot of damage on your Magma Orb, regardless of it's like the first initial cast or like the max chain. Okay, so let's talk about the gear. I will start with the mandatory stuff. We are using Sire of Shards, of course. I mentioned the good side of Gloomfang, like the damage gain side. There is a downside to this amulet. If you look at the second affix, it says lose 10 life for each enemy hit by your spells. We counteract this downside by using a shape-based ring that has the affix life gain for each enemy hit by your spells, so that like we don't kill ourselves just by like hitting enemies. I would definitely recommend getting a helm with this enchant. Like the Magma Orb chains an additional 2 times enchant. Just gives a lot of clear speed and like damage. It's like, incredible damage. We are using Snake Pit. Snake Pit gives us spell damage, cast speed, and on top of that, when you use this ring in your right ring slot, it gives you an additional chain, which is like more damage and clear speed once again. That's like the mandatory pieces for this build. Carcass Jack is super nice because like since it's like an area build, area damage, area of effect helps out a lot. I would definitely recommend getting a Shaper Glove because these can roll cast speed. Definitely go for a Stygian Mice because you can put your Onslaught Jewel here and save a jewel on the tree like for a damage jewel. Um, we are using 7 league steps like purely for the movement speed. You can go with anything you want here. Like, it will be easier to cap your resist with like a rare boot, so like it's up to you, whatever. That's basically like all the gear. I will quickly show you my flasks. Like Alchemist Quicksilver flasks, no brainer. We are using Dying Sun because like the additional projectiles and the area of effect helps us a lot with the clear speed. I needed to use a flask for like the freeze immunity, so I chose a sulfur flask, just so we could get like a little bit more damage. And like since this build has a lot of cast speed, I didn't want to bother with mana, so I just used Soul Catcher and Lavianja's Spirit. These flasks coupled will make sure that you can cast your spells as much as you'd like. Since Soul Catcher has the affix cannot gain mana during effect, Lavianja's Spirit will make it so that your skills have no mana cost during flask effect. So that's basically like all the gear. You could like swap this helmet for a Devotus if you'd like more movement speed, but I just needed to resist. So like I said, like if you invest more into this build, like you can do a lot of cool stuff. That's basically it about the gear. I will quickly go over the gem setup now. We are leaking our Magma Orb with Empower, Control Destruction, Faster Casting, Elemental Focus, and Fire Penetration. If you can't afford this, just use a level 3 one instead. And if you can't afford a 6 link, I would drop the Faster Casting. One more thing to note, Spell Echo does end up giving more damage than Faster Casting, but I didn't like the playstyle, so I just went with Faster Casting instead. We have an Orb of Storms set up in our gloves. Orb of Storms, Combustion, Flammability, Curse on hit. We are using Anger for more damage, and we are using Blood Rage for frenzy charges. We also have a Vaal Grey setup linked with increased duration. We are using a Flame Dice setup with Arcane Surge. Make sure that your Arcane Surge is not above level 6 so that you can get your Flame Dash, which is 1 cast. We are also using Summon Lightning Golem and Flesh and Stone. Like Summon Lightning Golem is just extra cast speed, makes the build feel smoother. And Flesh and Stone just like gives a lot of survivability. You can see the like Flesh of Stone area right here. Uh, Basically everything in this area is blinded, and blinded enemies are 50% less likely to hit you. So it's like a huge survivability boost. So that's basically the gem setup. Oh, and I am using a Armageddon brand for my like help with the single target. You can do whatever here. I am using Armageddon brand, Control Destruction, Faster Casting, Elemental Focus, Conk Effect, and Fire Penetration. This, I'm not sure about this, it's up to you. That's basically all the gems. I will go over the passive tree now. So the most important thing in the passive tree is to just get this implicit on any one of your jewels. Corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you. This basically solves your bleeding problems. I decided to use this jewel as well since it gives like a little bit of fire damage, But the important thing here is like it gives area effect per chain. Like as your Magma Orb chains, it gains area of effect, and like this helps out a lot with like clearing the outer mobs in the Legion. It also grants us another projectile, which is like super nice since we aren't using LMP or GMP. We are taking Elemental Overload because like Sire of Shards doesn't give any crit chance, and like we are playing Deadeye, so like, there is no way we could go crit with this build. I am taking the Annihilation just so like my Elemental Overload, like proccing the Elemental Overload is a bit easier. Like, you could just rely on your Orb of Storms and like drop this. This is just like quality of life. You could get jewels like this. I think I paid like 8C for this, just spell damage, fire damage, and cast speed. Basically like same thing over here, like same thing over here. These jewels do give a lot of damage. Other than that, like we are taking acrobatics, a little bit of evasion. So the build is pretty tanky. Like all the area, a little bit of cast speed. I'll let you take a look at the tree and like you can just copy it. So that's basically like the passive tree. Pantheon, I guess not really important, but I would recommend getting the Brine King for like the stun immunity thing. And also you could get Soul of Shikari for the poison immunity. So that's basically the build, guys. Let me know what you think about the build. Like let me know if you have any suggestions, questions, anything. I would also really appreciate it if you could like give me feedback on my videos. I am like trying to make a lot of POV content, and I would like very much appreciate the feedback. Anyways, guys, like if you enjoyed the video, please like make sure to like and subscribe. That's basically it from me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.